Konain Shah is one of the world's leading copywriters. He's currently running an automated webinar doing 3.5 million a month. He's written copy for Russell Brunson, worked inside ClickFunnels, learned from Dan Kennedy, and helped build over 57-figure coaching businesses with his agency, copy, and clients. Today, we're going super deep on funnels, webinars, and making money from email lists. Konain, welcome to the channel.
Thank you for having me.
Mate, I want to go so deep on funnels, but I want to start off with your backstory because you have
Yeah.
a very interesting origin story to your hero's journey. So, bro, take me back a bit to the beginning, coming to America at 11 and yeah, just kind of starting off not speaking English and dropping out of high school. Tell
Oh,
us about, yeah, your first years.
we're going back. Yeah, so I came to the US when I was 11, and it was kind of interesting because I remember the first day I was here coming from New York, and I remember the car ride home, and it was different. The air felt different. The water tasted different. So if you ever travel to another country, you drink their water, you're like, it tastes different. Like, it's just weird not to get used to it. The Gatorade tasted different, right? So like everything else was different. The culture shock was different because a lot of things that are normal here are not normal where I'm from. So I'm originally from Pakistan. So there's that. But anyways, yeah. So like I think like within the first 2 years while I was here, it was I struggled a lot because I'm more of like a brown kid who just came out of nowhere, who doesn't speak English, don't know how to make friends. Pretty hard, and then you get bullied in high school because, like, you don't know what to say, like, and I don't know half the things I'm saying to other people, so and at any time or in any new language you learn the curse words first, and you start saying them, and then, like, you don't even know what you're saying, but you're saying them, but so there's that, but anyways, to make it quick and short, I was in ESL, I learned English within a year, which was very surprising for my teachers. They're like, "Did you speak English before?" I'm like, "No." Did you write English before? I'm like, "Yeah, I've wrote English before," but, like, "Did you speak it?" I'm like, "No, no, no." So, like, they took me out of ESL, within a year. Yeah, and then I came top 7th in my middle school when it comes to, like, the rankings. I was really good at math, and then in high school, I think a lot changed where, you start learning the dating scene and you like girls like you, and I'm like, this is a thing here. Like, and then one day I was 16, I was sitting in a free period where you just chill, do whatever you want. And when you're 16 here, when you're a sophomore here, you start getting invitations from colleges and people start coming over to the classrooms and they want you to invite and hey, come to our college, blah blah blah. And they do their fancy little sales pitches and whatnot. And one day there was a guy, I forget his name, but he was handing out free pens and whatever. It had the university name in it. And then they're like, ask yourself, what do you want to be in life? And I'm like, so I was next to a computer. I'm like, let me go search up what I want to be in life. So I started searching up lawyer. I'm like, nah, too stressful. I started searching up engineer. Heck no, does not suit me. And I think that's where like I started really thinking about like, okay, like what do I want to be? And I don't know, nothing like excited me like ever. Like it was everything was just boring, boring, and boring. And I was like, or I just didn't want like too stressed. But then everything I looked at, I was like, everything is stressful. So I was like, maybe I go the military route. So like that was like one of the things I was gonna do. So I was like, okay, like maybe I'll be in the military. Like I'm physically fit. I'm an athlete. I love playing soccer or football or whatever you guys call it. But um, it's like I'd love doing that. I might do that, or I'd go in the business world, but I don't really know what business to start or what to do. So at 16, I started um, playing with Shopify and ecom, and back in the golden ages of ecom, right? So it's like ads were so cheap, and yeah, so like that's how I got started. Dude. Like it was all like just like trial and error. Like at 16, I started playing this game of online businesses, and I would literally like go door to door wash cars because I just wanted to make money. One day a lady invited me, hey, do you want to do some construction at my other house I'm building? I'll pay you $20 an hour. I'm like, $20 an hour, I'm in. So I started doing that. I would save up that money, and then I'd go buy those 30-day Shopify trials and build my stores at night. So that's how I got started. And then it was a big failure, but like I started 4 stores. The most I made was like $3,000 a month, but it was like, it was great for me. And then it taught me a lot about online business, building websites, which eventually got me into building funnels and whatnot. And yeah, that's like the TLDR of Konain Shah.
Dude, it's such a rite of passage, the Shopify store building and the like, all right, like let me crack ecom first.
Yeah.
Like just I went through so many Shopify trials and store builds and subscriptions
Yeah.
to learn that. But it's such a good training ground. It's like you learn about like, okay, oh shit, I found a
Yeah.
product, especially if you're drop shipping. It's like, how do I
Yeah.
actually take it to market and sell it? And how do
Yeah.
I run a Facebook ad?
Yeah.
And then you just build up from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then on the career selection side, like at least for me, it's just like what's gonna make me like the most amount of money. So you think like lawyer, doctor. Like for me, I went down the like law path. I actually dropped out of law school, but I was just like, I want to make it, and I feel like that translates really well for like so many of the kind of like online, like the sort
Yeah.
of killers in the online world. They kind of
Yeah.
start off with that mentality, and they find like, holy shit, the more I do in
Yeah.
this world, the more I can make it, the bigger impact I can have.
100%.
That's it. Dude, I wanna unpack quickly the transition from the, Shopify expert with the like few with the few stores into actually like writing copy and doing work for people like Dan Kennedy and Russell Brunson. Like
Cool.
how'd you go from that to there?
So, um, at 16, I started my first Shopify store. It was called Happy Friday Online. So there's that. I used to sell. I sold many products, failed products, like, and it was things I liked, right? So I loved the anime, so I started posting like anime hoodies and stuff and whatnot, and um, that like, and I used to pay like Instagram shout outs, like $60 or $100 or whatever, and then they'd promote it. And I remember to this day, I was sitting at my lunch during school, and I got my first 2 sales for $49.98. Like, heck yeah. I was like, dude, like that's awesome. Like I made money, right? So it's like, I still remember to this day. But anyways, I was just testing a lot of different things when it came to just getting traffic to my ecom store, right? So like I tried Instagram shoutouts, I started running Facebook ads, and eventually I came across a product that was a baby bed product, right? So it was like this big baby bed. It cost me like $7.96, I believe that was the price, and I listed for like $35 or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try Facebook ads, and I started learning, and they were like, you have to write good copy. You have to. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but whatever. I'll put some. So I started researching, right? So I'm like, what's the benefit of? Like, I didn't know what features and benefits and all these things meant, right? At the time, at least. So it's like, let me see what the benefits of this baby bed is, and then eventually I came across a study which was said like 62% of babies fall off a bed every year and injure themselves in some form, shape, or fashion, right? So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna say that, whatever, right? So, like, dear parents, did you know that 62% of babies fall off every year? Blah blah. Now, with this bed, you can securely put your baby. It will cry, and I'll put bullets, right? It will cry less. It will be cushiony, comfy, all that. And then I ran it, dude. That was my first $3,000 a month product. I was like, oh shit, like. But now, like, I look back at it and I'm like, dude, like that was pretty good copy. So, but. And then I guess I was starting to become a good marketer and a terrible business owner because I would take the money and I'd go spend it rather than like reinvest it back into ads and whatnot. Like, I don't know, like, $3,000. Yeah, I'm going to go take girls out and buy clothes and like whatever, right? Like, it was dumb, but you learn your lesson. But that taught me the skill set of building websites. And then locally, like I was like, okay, like maybe this isn't it. I need to like maybe go sign local businesses and whatnot, right? So it's like would I would walking to local businesses and try to like pitch my services, and it was tough. Don't get me wrong. I am a super introvert. I do not like going into businesses and talking to people. Hell no. I'm rather alone. I like being alone in a dark room, but I had to do it. I'm like, I need to go talk to these guys. So I would like go connect with people. I would walk into bars and you have to be 18 plus to do it and be like, no, hey guys, your website sucks. I'll build your website. They're like, nah, we don't need it. Like, no, I'll build your website. Like, it'll be better than anything. I'll get you more customers. And like, eventually they'll be like, all right, fine. How much? I was like, $1,000. And I thought $1,000 was a lot of money back then, right? Like 1,000, like deal. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I did it. And then what I've started noticing was like, they had tremendous success. I started learning funnels a little bit. I started getting ClickFunnels. At the time, it was only ClickFunnels Classic. I started running ads for these guys. Like, and by the way, completely for free. I'm like, it's part of the website package. Like, don't worry about it. like, so I would go build a website on Squarespace or whatever, and then, which I didn't know at the time, but for that one bar and club, we made them I think, actually not, I'm gonna get around, but I think $1.5 million within that summer. So I used to live in Atlantic City. That like it's a very popular bar, but like it brought people from like a 50-mile radius everywhere. It was like it was insane. They're like, dude, stop the ads. We can't have these reservations. We just can't. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. Like, so they're like, stop. So it was like that was like my first intro into, oh, this can like really scale businesses and this can really work. And it was all like, I think I was really poor at marketing myself, but I was really good at getting clients results. And I think that's what mattered a lot, because even at then, like my best way of getting clients was referrals. So I'm like, hey, who else do you know? Like, right? Like, they're like, hey, you've seen amazing results. Do you know anybody? Yeah, I know this guy. And then I would sign more local clients. And at the time, I was doing well, dude. Like by the time I was 18, I was making 6 figures. I had 7 clients locally, all locally. And then COVID hits and I lose all of them. So dude, because like they're, hey, we're shutting actually I kept one because they're like, hey, like we need your help guiding us through COVID. I need you to market for us or whatever. So like one, and they were paying me like $1,000 a month or whatever. But yeah, dude, like so it was like very up and down, side to side. And then to get to your question on how do I get to the Dan Kennedy, Russell Brunsons of the world, that came a lot after. So I think it was a little 2 year after. So within that 2 year period, I'll tell you a little bit about this. So it's like after COVID hit, um, I had roughly like, I don't know, 13, 14, 15 grand saved. And you may know Traffic and Funnels, old school, Taylor Welch, Chris Evans, and I was like, all right, I need to do something because like I need help. I'm like stuck. I don't know what to do. Like I tried this local thing and nothing's working. Everybody's closed. Nobody wants to do their business because, oh, we're only doing takeout. And I would anyways. And then I tried like a bunch of different markets. I tried real estate with an agency. I tried like everything under the sun, to be honest. And then so I had a sales call with one of their guys, and they were like, I was like, how much is the program? They were like, 9,800. I was like, huh? How much? Like 9,800. I was like, oh, I had the money. I was like, I don't have that much. And they're like, well, we could break it up. I'm like, all right, how much? Or like 4 grand. I'm like, nah, I got 3. They're like, all right, we'll put 3 down. I'm like, okay, fine. 2 days later, I paid the whole thing, but whatever. I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna go all in, I might as well. So I did, and then that was, I think, like a 10-week program, which was great. Like I think I met a lot of cool people there. And I think my environment shaped a lot of my thinking. So when you join Traffic Funnels, they send you a book on psycho-cybernetics and whatnot. So I read that, like, hey, you can change the way you think. And really, like, there were great lessons there. Don't get me wrong. I didn't make my money back. I was like, I think I made like 6 grand in those like 10 weeks, but it was great. Like I met the people, they were amazing. And eventually, I ended up joining Elite, which was, I think at the time, $18,000 or $25,000 or whatever. I had to literally open up a new credit card and put down like $10,000. I'm like, yo, I got $6,000 on me. Like, I don't know what's happening. But yeah, so I joined Elite, and what really changed for me was like the idea of people making 40,000 a month, 100,000 a month, 150K a month. Right? I was like, oh, this is like like it was so new to me. It's like I had to have a paradigm shift around what was happening. Like even like the people that were like, I'm like, wait, this is possible? And like, by the way, like, so when you join Elite, you'd go to like Nashville and things, and you'd fly in and you'd be in this room, you'd be networking, you'll be mastermind, right? And I'm like, these people are complete dumbasses. Like, seriously, straight face. They're like, and they're looking at me like a 19-year-old who sits in the back of the room because he's super shy and introverted and everything else. And I'm like, wait, these guys are making 40 grand a month, 50 grand a month, 100 grand a month, 150 grand a month, $300,000 a month, whatever. You? And you're asking, and by the way, even the funniest thing was they're asking me questions like, hey, how do you run ads? Like, I thought you knew about this stuff. Like, no. And by the way, it still rings true to this day. Like, people think like other people are just smart. No, they're complete fucking idiots. But not to say that, no, some people are truly smart. It's just, I don't know. It's just very interesting to me at the time.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's so true. One of the best things you buy with like a mentorship program or joining a group is like getting exposed to like what other people are earning, and like, yeah, breaking that mentality in your mind of like, holy shit, if they can do it, so can I. Especially when you
Yeah.
realize I actually might know more than some of these people like in the mastermind. So it's like one of the best things that you can buy. And I used to think mindset was such bullshit. I was like, oh, it's like I don't need to have like the right mindset to like make money and like make this work. But it actually it really does impact you. It's not just like the tactics and the strategies.
Yeah.
It's like the right thinking. And yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So I started, so like through Elite and all that, like I would sign clients from Elite because they're already making like 200 grand a month. Like, yo, if they ask you a question, I'm like, how about I run your ads? I'll just do it for you rather than just tell you. Right. So I was like, dude, I signed like 4 clients. I don't know, like 5 clients. I'm like, let's fucking go. I just paid off my Elite membership. Let's go. So, um, so that became like a new source of client acquisition, referrals, and whatnot. And I think I had like my first 15 or 20 grand month that way. Like, so it's like, hey, like if you ever join Mastermind, just go sign clients in there. Like, there's no shame or whatever. Like, just do it. But I started building my name. I started posting consistently because in the program they're like, yo, you need to post consistently. So I started doing it on Facebook. Facebook was the main channel. I think nowadays is Instagram, but yeah. So there was that. I started building up my name and whatnot, and then I started getting all these different clients, which was great. And then you asked how did I land Russell or anybody else? It was literally a cold DM. I can show you the screenshot if you want, or I can even go pull up. It was Facebook Messenger, and I was like, I don't know. I saw one of his funnels, and I was like, hey, like this copy could be better. Like I'm like like, hey Russell, like this copy could be better. I think it kind of sucks, and and then he messaged back. I think 2 weeks later or whatever. I'm blanking out on like how long it was, but anyways, he messages back 2 weeks like, yeah, oh yeah, you're right. And I don't know, he's a curious person and whatnot. He's like, I've been looking for a copywriter if you want to take a stab at it and whatnot. And I was like, by the way, internally I was like, no, the fucking way he had replied to me. And by the way, at in 2020, 2021, Russell Brunson was the biggest name in the space. The biggest. Alex Hormozy maybe right now, but Russell Brunson was the biggest space. I was like, holy shit. Did he just reply to me? What the hell? Okay.
You're like, is this the right account? Like,
Right.
is this like
right. So I'm like, all right, I need, and by the way, in Elite and in Client Kit and all those programs, like at least it taught you sales really well, right? So it's like, let me tell you something. They were so good at sales. Taylor Welch's team, Traffic and Funnels, those guys, they could fucking sell ice to Eskimos. If you look at Cole Gordon now, he used to be a sales guy.
he probably sold you?
No, he didn't. But but he used to, like I watched trainings of him from Taylor, like literally schooling Cole Gordon at times. Like I was like, oh shit's about to go down. Like like, yeah, well, you didn't hit 400 grand this month or whatever the fuck. Anyways, but let me tell you, like, they were one of the best sales training team I would say in the world at the time. So even when my conversation with Russell, I'm like, let's rock and roll, baby. So I was like internally, like in my head, I was like, dude, holy shit. But like, I was selling, bro. I was like, so it's like, and then like Russell and I started talking back and forth, and he likes talking on audio. Like he loves like the audio. Like he doesn't text. It's too much for him. So right. So it's like, and even till now, like Russell always prefers audio. So he started talking about audio, and he's like, yeah, I have like a really great A++++ copywriter. I'm looking for one more who can just help out, make my life easier because I have to like edit a lot of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, dude, no problem. Like, show me some stuff, and I'm happy to do a test project, whatever else. So, right, so I'm just making it easy. And he was like, "Do you want a full-time thing?" I'm like, "No," right? So it was, dude. Like, I can probably show you the conversation sometime, but it was very like, I don't even want this sale. Like, I wanted it, but I was like, like it's like he who wants to sell the least wins or whatever, right? So I was not desperate for it, right? Like I had to play my cards right in order to get that gig, right? So and you just have to. And like obviously I wanted it. Who doesn't fucking want it at the time, right? So it's like, yeah, and then he was like, okay, can we do a test project together? I'm like, yeah, and we worked on Funnel Hacking Live. It was 30 emails for Funnel Hacking Live. And I'm like, okay, I can't. And by the way, like I would say at the time, I was a mediocre copywriter, mediocre, right? Like I was not one of these top guns. What like I will be the first person to say it. What made me different was a. So for example, I'm like he's like, hey, I need these 30 emails for Funnel Hacking Live, and um I was like, okay, how soon do you need them? It's like end of the week. Dude, I got them done within 48 hours. And I have his exact message to this day because he added me in Slack. And it's on my website. It's everywhere where it says, holy. And by the way, it was sent at 2:43 a.m., which said, oh my God, these emails are amazing. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe he was being nice. I don't know. But like I'm like, hey, I still have to make edits. Hey, I'm not finished. Don't like I was on like email 28 and whatever, right? Like and a day and a half has passed. And he's like, oh shit, this guy likes to work, right? So you could tell like the level of drive and the level of hunger was there. And then so the next day, I don't know if next day or maybe the day after, but like he gets me with this I don't know if he still works there, but his previous COO, Kevin, he's like, hey, I want to bring this copywriter in. Could you fly him into ClickFunnels headquarters? So the next week, I'm literally flying to ClickFunnels headquarters. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So I'm like, maybe my copy is good. Maybe it's the hunger. I don't know what it is. But so I get on a Zoom call with Kevin, and he's like, we want you full time. I'm like, no. Because, dude, I was already making like, I think 25 grand a month or whatever, right? So, I was very, very hungry at the time. I was pushing, getting clients. And honestly, like, one of the key differentiator that for us was like, oh, like, we will make client delivery our best thing possible, even if you're mediocre at skill set, right? So, like, we want to deliver faster. We want to be talking to clients every day. We want to be doing things that matter. So, I flew to ClickFunnels, spent a week there, and literally we worked on projects with Tony Robbins for his Time to Thrive event. We worked on Grant Cardone's stuff. Like I was I'm like, you guys work on this stuff? Yeah, we do affiliates and all that with all these guys. Dean Graziosi stuff. We're like he's jumping on calls with Dean Graziosi and oh, we just did an event, 3.5 to 5 million there, fucking 8 million here. I'm like, what the fuck? These numbers, like, you guys are talking some real fucking game. So, and honestly, it was the best time ever. Through that, within that time, he bought Dan Kennedy's company, Magnetic Marketing, right? So it's like, and then they just put me on it, and I was pretty much the only guy writing every single piece of copy from every funnel. Like I hacked to be mini Dan Kennedy in a way. Like every email came from me. Yeah, some they reviewed and whatnot, but it was every single email, every single page. Not I wouldn't say every single page, but most of them like I wrote, pretty much managed, and then worked with Russell. and Dan and whatnot, and I'd read their stuff. Dude, I studied so much. Like I think even like within that company, but maybe Russell worked as hard as me, if that. Like it's no chance. Like I was like, I was wanted more work. Like you want a guy who like is so fucking hungry, just wants more work, wants to get better. And by the way, they had better copywriters. I will say, like, and let me tell you something. There were other copywriters in the team that left after 30 days because they could not do the job. They were just not good enough, right? I will say that much. It's a higher requirement work when you're at that level, right? And you need to prove yourself. Like here's the thing. There's a difference between getting a client and keeping a client, right? You can get a lot of agencies get the fucking clients. They do. They one way or another they get the clients and be like, "Oh yeah, I've landed this client. Amazing." How many have you kept? Hence why I was telling you before this call, our lifetime value is roughly 3 years. It is insane. No agency owner, I would say, in the world is close. Because we prioritize that so much over everything else. So it's very hard. And like internally, I was saying to my team, like if our clients can feel like they're the only client we have, they win or we win. Everybody wins technically. But it's a thing that I constantly like say to my team. Our clients need to feel like they're the only clients we have. That is it. And if they feel like that, they'll stick with us, which means daily communication. We talk every single day. We give them updates every single morning, every single day. And then like, we're like homies. We'll make great relationships, right? And then I just happen to be very, very, very good at like just knowing every single aspect of the funnel part, which is, from click to close, right? So from like the ads side of things to funnel side of things to CRO to email to landing pages to design to like, I just know everything because it's what I've experienced from all these years of working behind, literally looking over the shoulders of Russell, Dan Kennedy, all these different guys. And it's like, oh, so this is how it's done. And by the way, I'm a fucking sponge. Like, I will learn anything and everything that is out there, and I will grab the book, I'll pick it up, whatever it is. Yeah, I will say that's my superpower. I have a lot of weaknesses, which I'm afraid of a lot of things, and I have my fears. Fucking, I'm super introverted, and like, I hate asking people for stuff, and I just want to be all alone and whatever else. And I have like imposter syndrome 9 out of 10 times, and like I will say like those are my weaknesses, but like I'm a sponge when it comes to like certain things. And yeah. And by the way, I will say you cannot buy that education. It is impossible. People have tried to pay millions of dollars for that, and they say no. So it's valuable, and you need to take advantage. And I did. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you got paid to
Yeah,
learn, to
I
go
got
through the
paid to
school
learn.
of Russell and Dan Kennedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like two of some of the greatest modern marketers on the planet. How incredible! Like, what an amazing training ground, and also the team that you would have been around as well at that time,
Dude, amazing.
which is
Amazing
rinsing
people, by the way.
funnels.
I will say they're one of the most incredible teams I've um worked with. I think from the leadership standpoint, they lacked, I don't know, like operational skills, but not really. I don't know. That just I think they just need to tighten up a bit. But from like a people standpoint, they were amazing people. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
like you can tell, Russell really has that like energy of care. Like, I mean,
Oh,
his whole kind of life has been like, I want to like my journey is to help other experts have impact and like take that
and he
impact to
really
the kind of
does.
world.
That's true, and he really wants to. Like
It's super
there's
genuine.
and you know what they say, like I don't like when like when you meet your heroes, like you're
Like, don't
often
meet your heroes.
yeah, like you're often disappointed at times. And no, I just like he's at the end of the day he's human. And he genuinely fucking cares. He's an amazingly talented human being. He's also very introverted, very introverted. And he needs outside validation to be good and whatnot. Like we all know that. So the team would like be like, "Oh my god, you did an amazing job!" Like, yeah, cool. So like, but he's not Superman. Like nobody is, right? So like, there's things that like people portray themselves as online. They're like, no, like he's him. He's a human. He's amazing, right? And then I think even like when ClickFunnels 2.0 launched, he got a lot of backlash and all that, and I don't think that was fair to him. I just know, like, I don't think it was his fault. He's at the end of the day, he's a marketer. He marketed his business, but I don't think it was his fault, and I don't think he should have taken the blame as much as he did. But he is the face of ClickFunnels, right? But like when you look at ClickFunnels, it's not just him; it's an entire team. It's Todd. It's so his co-founder, right? So it's like there's a bunch of other guys, the C-suite, everybody else. It's not just him, but he took a lot of that blame, and respect to him, bro.
Dude, I don't take us on too much of a tangent, but I'm just keen to
Yeah.
quickly like talk to the point of ClickFunnels in like the landscape of like tech for funnels. Like now that they've got
Sure.
competitors like Go High
Yeah.
Level GHL,
Yep.
Russell has launched OfferLab, which is like him building his own like affiliate network. So I'm keen to get like your thoughts on that kind of like tool ecosystem and like where you see ClickFunnels in that and for the future.
I think they're all fucking distractions. Transparently. I think so. Offer Lab used to be a Steven Larson thing, right? So I think he bought the domain from him or whatever. I'm not sure. But and then I think it was Kevin's idea to launch Offer Labs. I think Sam Ovens had like one of those sayings like where like I think if anybody's gone through up level consulting it, like I think Sam Ovens talks about like output of energy, right? So it's like if you're fucking pointing your energy at 6 different things, you don't really go further. Whereas if you just point it at one thing, you'll actually grow that one thing. And I think they should have focused just on ClickFunnels, right? So like when we were actually launching or about to launch 2.0, everybody was reading the book Crossing the Chasm, because that's what people do. And like, okay, so like basically the highlight of the book is like there's a chasm, meaning there's like this pit where if you don't jump, you fall, right? So if you don't make it in the end, you fucking. I'm like, what the fuck, whatever. Like that's dumb, but whatever. Like in terms of basic standpoint, and even like I questioned a lot of like to Russell, and I was like, he would answer me stuff, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, why are we doing this? Like it doesn't. It like I don't think that's what people want. But like I think I will say it's ClickFunnels weaknesses and their C-suite weaknesses is they don't listen to their team as much as they listen to their C-suite. So that was, I think, very dumb on their part. And clip it, send it to them. I don't care. But I think we as the people, we hang around there people who use ClickFunnels every day, who we talk to. I have clients who like everybody, like dude, like I know who they are. I know how the people are. I'm the copywriter. I'm the guy who writes, and I have to think as the person um who has these pains and desires and wants to hit their goals. And I'm like, I don't think that's what they want. And exactly that was happened. And I was afraid of that. I knew that was going to happen, right? You could just almost feel it. But like one of the, and I don't know if they still do this or not, but like, I think like when employees, and I was not an employee, like just to like, I was more of a contractor more than anything. I never signed any full-time thing. Like I ran my agency just as is because I would take a huge hit on like the financial side of things. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think they valued their team's, I wouldn't say opinions, but ideas as much as they should have. Because here's the thing, let me tell you, to work at ClickFunnels or to work as a contractor, as an employee, whatever, you have to be fairly talented, meaning you are smart enough to do the job. Therefore, if you do not take, it's the good old Jeff Bezos. If you read any of his letters, one of the letters he talked about, like, if you think the idea is so bad, write a 2-page letter on why you think so. So I think they should have taken that mentality and ran with it, and they would have been a much bigger business today than they are right now. And I think GHL took a lot of the advantage. They valued the people more. They valued the people's opinions more. They valued, the community more, even though ClickFunnels had a much larger community, like slowly. So like if you look at the rise of GHL, it was very agency focused at first, right? And guess what? And it was brilliant. I think it was brilliant because guess what? Most of the agencies have most of the clients, right? So if they take over the agencies, guess where they're going to move their clients? To GHL. So they valued agencies, they promoted agencies became their biggest affiliates, right? And then and so on. And I think it was a slow. It's the art of war. It was the fighting without the fighting in a way, right? So like it was very underground-esque sort of a strategy that they utilized, and it was brilliant. Like it is what it is. And even like some of the top very loyal people to ClickFunnels like left for GHO, and I think there was a lot of battle there. I think it's fairly gone now, but it is what it is. It's just at the end of the day, it's just a software. I think it took a big hit on Russell in terms of like, hey, I thought you were loyal to me, but I think we're just looking at software, and like at the end of the day, business is business, and people are gonna look out for themselves first before they look out for you. Yeah, and then I don't know. I think between a lot of that stuff, I resigned from ClickFunnels because I don't know, I just didn't feel as valued, and I feel like I was at a cap because they were just people were leaving, and they knew that I would like work my ass off, but not to the point where I'm sacrificing my own business, right? I'm just capping the level of income, and not to there's a part of me that feels like, and I would talk to my friends like, dude, do you think I'm wasting my time? Like, what is it, right? So it's like I should have left at the 2 year mark. I stayed, I think, 2 points, like 2.5, a little 2.5 years. I should have left earlier, but um, yeah, dude, it was I don't know. I think the first time when you feel like you should probably leave, you probably should have. But anyways,
Well said.
it was one of the best learning experiences, best people I've ever met. I think the management style fucking sucked. And it's not Russell's fault. Russell was nowhere near involved within that. I will say he's an amazing human being. We have a personal great relationship. I have no sort of bad thing to say. It's more about, I think, the internal management process than anything else.
Yeah, look, when a company's that size, it's always bigger than one person, and it's hard to control every element. Cool. So I just want to recap for the audience, like where we've gotten to for the epic journey.
Sorry for the tangent, bro.
Dude, that was like really valuable and great to unpack. So just in terms of like recapping, came over from Pakistan at 11, like learned English. You then at 16 were playing around with ecom, opening Shopify stores. Then you moved into marketing services for local businesses, walking into a bar, getting them to build a website with you. Then you ran their ads. That was a deal of a lifetime for them. Then COVID hit. You joined TNF Traffic and Funnels. You learn how to sell clients in there. And then you send a DM to Russell and then end up at ClickFunnels for a bit while still operating copy and clients. So yeah,
Well,
epic journey.
it was called upskill marketing before. I used to run it with a partner, and I had to let him go because I felt like I was doing 90% of the work. Great person, by the way. These I will never say it was a people problem. It was always effort problem, right? At times, because like I don't think you could teach hunger. You can't teach desire, and you can't teach output, and you can't teach the right inputs and the right behaviors to get a certain outcome. So I think if people just I don't know. I think a lot of people are not willing to sacrifice the things that they know they should sacrifice. And again, I would go back to the another Sam Ovens quote, which is like, if you don't sacrifice the things that you should sacrifice, you will sacrifice the things that you want, right? So like, or like you will right? So it's like it's amazing, and
Love that.
these are things that I've written down and remembered, and I still read them to this day because I think Hermosi says we often need to be reminded more than we need to be taught, right? So it's like, yeah, so it's just constant reminders I have on my vision board and on my Google Docs and even in my notes. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think hunger just comes from deprivation. I think like that's what creates the motivation. So you just need to find someone that like has that kind of sense. And I think like that's what makes the best kind of like business owners is like the sense of it's not quite enough. I mean, to a certain
Yeah,
point that can become like destructive, but that's a whole can of worms. So well, I'll stay away from that for now. I want to move into tactics.
sure.
Yeah, just to like give away some of the secrets that you're using to get some of the epic results that you are for your clients. So yeah, like focusing like particularly on like webinars just to begin with. I want to talk about like making new money for clients. So like
Hmm.
for agencies, a lot of like our success and how much impact we can have and how much money we can make for ourselves comes from who selects as a client, the actual draft. But when you're like working with a client that's already successful, they already have something that's working. So they already have a funnel that's converting, maybe a webinar that's working well. So how do you come in, do it better than what they're currently doing, and create that new money for them?
Well, I'll tell you from a positioning standpoint, right? Because I think I think after transitioning a lot from like working with all different types of client, we just stopped working with broke people. At like it was just too much of a headache. I think they just expect a lot. So we started transitioning to we only work with clients that are making at least $1 million or more. However, 9 out of 10 times they already have a media buyer. They probably already have a copywriter. They already have certain roles, right? So one day, and I'm just writing things down. Like I'm like, so why the fuck do they need me? Right? Like at the end of the day, it's like if they already have those roles, I'm fucked. Like, why do they need me? Like, yeah, I may be able to get them a 5% better ads ROAS or whatever, 10% better, or I could maybe CRO their stuff, make their funnels pages look better, but they already have that stuff. So like, how do I differentiate myself? And it was like, most of these guys have they're not testing enough. They're not trying or know what funnels look like. And from ClickFunnels, one of the biggest things we ran was challenge funnels. Obviously, Russell's known for his webinars and whatnot, and he did a tremendous job at them, and we wrote webinars. But one of the biggest things we did was, and the most consistent things we did was challenge funnels. And I was like, okay, I need to go out and make these guys new money. Who doesn't want new fucking money, right? So it's like, if they're already running a webinar, what if I came in and made them more money? Either A, optimizing their current webinar based on everything that I've learned from Russell, and that would so that they can make more money. Or B, I can come in and launch a new funnel for them that is almost guaranteed to generate them more money, more profit, everything else. And if it doesn't work, I'll just give their money back and whatever else, and that's it, right? And it looked like a no-brainer for them because, and by the way, a lot of these guys, they're sitting on a huge fucking email list that they don't email enough. They don't do anything with. So it almost like I was like strategizing. I'm like, okay, they have a list that's sitting there getting the same fucking emails every single time without any new offers. So like that's bad because I know like when working with Russell, we literally launch a new business from 0 to 8 figures in 6 months. Like it was that, and we do it through like challenges and promos and events and all that. So I was like, okay, how about I come into these businesses and I just make them new money, and that's what I did, and I still do that, right? So like I just come into businesses and help them. So I just audit what they have, see what they're doing, how often they're emailing, what their funnels look like, what their ads are, and I think it's super undertapped still, right? So like if any agency wants to like go take over, like just go make your clients new money. Like I don't think anybody would say no to making new money, right? Like that would be dumb, stupid, and slow on their part. So, man, you should tell them that. So like if they say no, just tell them that you're dumb, stupid, and slow. And your competitors will beat you. I'll go work with that guy. So anyways, I say that jokingly, okay? So, but anyways, yeah, so like we started doing that, and it worked tremendously from a positioning standpoint, right? So like that really differentiated us, and then we'd come in, and then like it was a very good way to get our foot in the door, and then they're like, and once they see our onboarding, they see the Slack, they see the messaging, they're like, what else do you do? Oh, we do all this. I'm like, okay, cool, like you could do it, and then right. So, and I will say in the agency space, and I don't like saying this, and I shouldn't say this, but whatever. It's you have to beat other people, and you have to beat other agencies. You have to outperform, outcommunicate, outwork them in a way, right? And I think nowadays I'm really big on my team and the level of leadership we have, because I'm like, imagine you joined Google. What would their team look like, and how would they perform, right? Now imagine you're here at Google. You would not operate the way you're operating, right? You'd wake up earlier, you'd show up, you'd be like, oh, I work for fucking Google. Like, that's fucking amazing, right? Like that's like, and it was kind of almost like the things that I didn't have at ClickFunnels, I implemented. I'm like, I know what not to do. And I will train my team as such, therefore they become fucking stallions. not some donkeys, and definitely not like some horses who just need to be told what to do. Like, fuck that. I need you to like, hey, we're gonna do something and we're gonna become the world's best at it. Right? That means we read books, we study, we test, cause like I think in the marketplace, there's very good copycats. There's not enough testers who eventually become masters. And I think that's what we excel at, which is eventually like everybody starts copying each other, which is amazing. They're not testing. They're not coming up with new solutions to newer problems. Therefore, we're way farther ahead when it comes to CRO, when it comes to building new offers and new events and new launches, because we're doing it every single day. Like we CRO every single day for most of our clients, right? It's just part of our service. It's not what we typically advertise, but it's part of just what we do, because we know that, like, and I'm sure you know that not every ad works for all the time. They eventually die down and they have to be shelved, and you have to create new creatives. And even now we know that with all the Andromeda changes and whatnot, like you just constantly have to create new creatives. No shit. So it's like I feel ahead because we're already testing so much. So it's a lot of testing, a lot of amazing communication, and it comes down to like we'll just outwork and outperform you, and like it's all about like out test you in a way, right? So like we'll just constantly test until we find winners, and we'll just constantly do it, right? So it's like I think most agencies aren't willing to do that.
Testing is the game. All the profit
Yeah.
lies in being first. And then it just gets diluted as everyone starts copying. It gets saturated. The audience becomes familiar with it, and it loses its effect. Yeah, like that's our biggest like philosophy is test everything. Always be testing.
What you can do is you can get so many tests with AI, dude. It's like, and I know we may talk about AI a little bit, but it's like one of the best utilizations of AI. It's just not from a copy standpoint. While I do think it can write decent copy, it's how can it help you think and become faster, right? It's not whether, like, I think like I don't know, like a year ago, it was like, will AI replace copywriters? I'm like, no, it'll just make them faster, better if they utilize it better. Right? They'll become the best copywriters in the world, because like it's no longer, hey, here's fucking 5 ad copies. No, it's 60 of them. And let's go test it fast and bang, 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 done. Right? So yeah, I don't know.
The competitive advantage now comes from data. So it's like the fact that you're doing
100%.
all this testing, you're like building this like data pool that is like proprietary, and that's how you can outcompete everyone else. Like that's the game, because now speed to execution is really kind of being standardized. Like people can start
Yeah.
like people are ahead of others for sure, but now it's like, you can use ChatGPT like a bit of a noob, and you can get
Yeah.
60 ad copies done. Like that might not be great, but then it's like your
Well,
win rate will be much lower
if you
than
give them your top winners, it does a very good job at modeling. I use Manus a lot more than Chat, so I love Manus. I know Meta just bought it, so
So while we're here, walk me through like how you're using AI and copy, because I've seen an old interview of yours. Actually, it's not too old; it's like 2 months old. You were like, the copy that AI is writing for me is not fantastic. We're mostly using it for research. So I'm keen to know like how you're using now, and like if that's changed.
yes. Well, I will say AI is changing faster than we sort of thing, and I'm sort of like learning it because I just have to, just from a speed perspective. So yeah, we utilize it a lot for research still, but I'm like, okay, like what if I gave it all my winners and it could model it for one client and then other client? Because if you go read like the old school books of Dan Kennedy and whatnot, like a lot of his topics talk about, you want to look at other industries and how they're doing it and bring those ideas within your industries. And I'm like, okay, if I have winners for one client, what if I tested those for another client? I'm like, hey, AI, go write these, and I want to see how it does, and then we'll just edit ourselves, right? So like we'll proofread and edit and everything else ourselves, and then we'll go launch and see what it is. So that's one way we've been utilizing a lot of those things, right? So like I'll just do it real quick, and I was like, it'll just quick test, right? So like that's a lot of ways we're doing that. We know some of our best VSLs that's done, and then another thing we do is, if you go on like swipe.co or some of these major winners, old school copywriting or whatever, just download all the shit, give it to your AI, and I'm like, go study this, and then hey, I want you to write a VSL based on like all these learnings, and and things, and why these funnels or VSLs or webinars work previously, and then go write me one. And you can get like a solid 6.5, 7 out of 10 VSL webinar or whatever, and then you just need to polish it, right? So like, and we've been testing that a lot. It's kind of 50-50, but sometimes it writes amazing stuff, even something that I would even think of, right? So it's like, it's definitely interesting, and then it just helps us, like, we can split test a lot faster, right? So it's like, I think we're going into a game of like a lot of split testing, and like who comes out at the end with new stuff, right? So it's like, it's no longer a game of like, oh, I'm just gonna launch an ad and my funnel's working and we're just gonna fucking double our ad spend and we're gonna make money. Like, yeah, some people do that, but it's like, I don't think that's sustainable, not long term at least. I think people are just gonna get way faster. And
Yeah, okay. Nah, so in terms of like specifically like how you're using it, so you've got this like training set of data that like you are like you have it in actually I haven't used like Manus. I have heard of it, but it's like I imagine it's like a project setup, similar to like Claude kind of thing. So you train it like that, and then you're bringing the client brief, you're like then kind of working the copy with it. Is that sort of what it's looking like
yeah, but
tactically?
then so we do a few things in terms of information or data gathering, right? So we have our own winners. We have sales calls from clients. We call it buyers archetypes that we create for clients. And then we throw it to Manus and like, hey, these are what their hopes, dreams, fears, blockers are of these clients based on real data. So like based on real sales calls. And then it studies, and then we just get the end product, right? So like, and then I'll even give it like, hey, here's my previous VSL that was an amazing winner. Use hooks similar to this, because at the end of the day, like, human psychology works very similarly, right? So like, I'm huge on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So it's like it's like we all have fucking needs and shit and desires and problems and whatnot, and I'm like, AI probably knows certain markets' problems better than I do, right? So like, it's here's the thing: I am not a great copywriter for every market. I know I'm not, right? So it's like it probably knows more than me about a certain market than me, right? So like, rather than me go reading and researching, it can be my researcher tool, right? So that's where the research part comes in. So and and I don't like. Here's the thing: most copywriting is all about writing. It's not. It's about editing. Um, it's copy. Like, it should be called copy editing or something. Like, I think copywriting is just whatever. Anyways, and then the copy testing or whatever, right? So like, you just test a lot of shit. So it's more about that than anything else. So, and that's what we focus on. And I think that's where just most people are like, I think they're just trying to get to the finish line and um get to the end goal, whereas we're just constantly testing, constantly improving, even if it's like a quick 5% improvement.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. So it's mostly used for copy and research. Or using it in any other. Okay. Nice.
Well, I haven't done any vibe coding or anything like that. I don't know shit about that. So, but I'm very intrigued and into seeing how the software world will change. But yeah.
Okay, nice. And for your clients, like in terms of what the typical deliverables are you doing the sort of end-to-end click to close, like you said? So it's like you got the ad, you're writing the copy, you're creating the creative, you're then doing the landers in the funnel, and you're also doing the emails as well, and the CRM.
We were never, and I don't do any creatives. So, well, we can. I just don't. We do in terms of it's very strategical. So it's like we do ads for some clients, but mostly because we just have them for a long period of time. What we mainly focus on is the copy. So our email is a big one. And our funnel side of things is like, hey, what funnels to run, how to run them, what to do, what events, write the copy, build out the funnel. Like, we just it's all SOP'd out for us, right? So like, if we're pretty much like, hey, like, client came in running through the subway line, and we're good to go. So that's what we've been essentially doing. So email is a big piece of our business. The funnel side is a big piece of our business, and then we just upsell, right? So it's like I think most agencies just rely on their one retainer. We'd like three of them. So so I'm like, yeah,
For
like,
like
yo,
different funnels or like different service lines?
this is services, yeah. So it's like, why
Yeah,
not? Like,
cool.
I just need to put a professional into place, whatever, right? So it's like,
Nice.
so it's like, I'll like if we have a great relationship, I'm gonna sell you. So it's like I run a business like just like anybody else. So
Yeah, you also know it better than, a different
yeah,
service provider would as well. You have all that extra context and the services,
100%.
often complement each other.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why do you
Yeah.
need that guy? I'll probably charge you less anyways.
Dude, so talk me like about how you select your funnel. Because like people always know like, oh, like what funnel should I run? And like right now, low ticket ascension funnels are all the rage. The
Sure.
idea of SLOs like liquidating on the
Yeah.
front end, or at least like having like a kind of break even point.
Hmm.
What are you seeing like working best right now? Does it not matter at all, or like how do you make that choice?
I think it depends on where the client is. So, for example, I'm always in the best interest of the client. So, if somebody's at 50K a month, I don't think they should be running SLOs. Right? Why? Because you'd probably have to spend 30 grand a month on Facebook ads just to like get a good data to see if that even works properly. Or you just burn everything on it and you're fucked. So, right? And then they're like, fuck, I lost half my business. And especially with the high ticket people, like they charge like 5-10 grand and then their clients are gone because they have no idea how to keep clients. Like they're stupid. Like they're like, oh, I'm gonna get high ticket clients. Like that's all they fucking care about, and then they gonna want to go buy Rolex watches and shit, and rent fucking Miami apartments and whatnot. So, anyways,
I want to talk to you about that so badly. I'm going to circle back on that. All right.
but hey, more power to them. But no, it depends on where the client is and what sort of budget they can run with, and essentially how much bandwidth they have in terms of time, right? Because there are certain funnels that can be automated very easily, and then there's other funnels that require more of the client's time, right? So it's like I think events is a huge one. I love doing events. I wouldn't take a client like this now, but like she just happened to, I don't know, I just saw a lot of potential in it. So it was a weight loss client. And I know a lot about like the warrior babes of the world. Um, so I was like, okay, cool. Like so like, and I saw like, I'm like, okay, like Warrior Babe does a lot of VSL. They do a lot of SLOs. They don't do challenge funnels. Guess what I did? Challenge funnel, right? So I think she previously used to do like 1 point something million per year, and then her business was constantly declining, and she was at like 30 or 50K a month roughly when she came and spoke with me. Like, hey, you were well recommended, whatever. I don't know if I'd be the right client for you, but I want to see if you want to help me do this. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I have this webinar running and we're running Google ads and whatnot. And I'm like, why? Like, I don't know. Like she's going to get out competed so easily. I'm like, okay, here's what I know. And then I just did like 10-minute research on like what Warrior Babe was doing. They're running low ticket and whatnot and all this stuff. I'm like, what are they not doing? Right. So like they're not doing any long form, um, and I think what a lot of like the people what they lack is the trust within their market, right? So like, and what a challenge does is it builds that level of trust within the 3 days or the 5 days or whatever else, right? So it's like if you look at any large data based on how they sign clients, the people who viewed your videos, at least 2 long form videos, are more likely to be permanent clients or actually buy your high ticket thing than people who haven't watched it. So when it comes to selling a high ticket, I was like, why don't you run a challenge? She's like, are you sure? So we ran a free challenge. I have the numbers to this day. I think it was like a 14x ROAS on the first one, bro. It was insane. So it's like it was
A
like
decent scale.
no, because she didn't have the money. Like she was making like 30-50 grand. We spent like $14,000 on ads. We made like 150K back or whatever else it was.
Still,
It was
what a great way to
insane.
validate.
Oh,
Dude,
easy. And then
a challenge funnel for like that demo and like that offer seems like such a no brainer. And it's great. So
100%. And then
I'm very familiar with.
And
Oh
by
yeah,
the
go
way,
ahead.
like I wanted to sign Warrior Babe. I've had multiple conversations with
Yeah,
Ryan,
yeah,
and they're also their CMO. I forget
yeah.
his name.
Blake.
Blake. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I've had conversations like, yeah, I'll keep you in mind. I'm like, it's okay. I'll kick your ass anyways. I'll take market share away from you. Whatever. But no, so now like my client, she's on a runway to do 3 million. So we're scaling fast, right? So it's like whatever, like fine, like don't work with me, fine, I don't care. but like I will go find one of your competitors and I'll go work with them, and then we'll see who's better. And obviously they have a bigger team, they're probably testing a lot more, and more respect to them, but I'm just going to compete. And by the way, you see how I get fired up about my clients on like how I want to compete? Like
I
that's
love
what
it.
keeps, dude, it matters so much because I want my clients to feel like they're my only clients, and like I love talking about them. And it's, I don't know, it's the level of care that no other agency can have because I want to go fucking fight a war for you. Right. And it's like you might not be smart, but I am. So it's like, let me just do stuff. And I know a lot more than most people. So it's like, so it's, I don't know. It's been fun. And dude, if I showed you the testimonial, and I'll maybe send you it and you can put it in this video or whatever
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
She's like, Konan, thank you. You have changed our, like, dude, it is one of the best testimonies I've ever received, and I'll send it to you. And it's fucking hilarious. You're like, oh shit, like most people just don't give that level of testimony, and I was like, holy fuck, like it's really taken a business from like almost dying to, and I care more about those testimonials than me crushing 5 million a month for a client. Like I don't know. So it's like I think those guys are already winning, but like somebody who's like losing, and then you just come out of nowhere, and then it's like those conversations hit different. I don't know. It's, yeah. Anyways,
They really do. Well, I want to transition to another client that hopefully you get just as fired up about. They're a little bit bigger. I don't know if I can say their name, but they're
sure,
in the Kindle publishing space.
sure.
Hopefully, that's
Yep,
not giving
yep.
away too much.
No, you're good.
So that is the webinar that you've been hitting 3.5. I'm not sure where it's at now, but I know in the past you were doing 3.5 mil a month off 1 mil in ad spend, and it's an auto
Yep,
webinar.
yep.
Like, talk to me about like that process, like the funnel structure, click to close, and like what's working well there.
Well, I'll give you this. There's a bunch of ads that we're running, and my good friend Marius, he's been running the ads. So I brought him
He
in for
runs
the
Warrior
ad
Babe,
side.
bro.
Really?
He
Oh,
runs,
interesting.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he runs the
Okay.
ads for Warrior Babe, and he works
So
with
yeah, I
Ryan and
brought
Bo.
him in. I was gonna run like there's just too much work I do for this certain company that I would want to run their ads. I just don't think I have the bandwidth. So I brought in Marius to run their ads. So like we have a bunch of fuck ton of ads running, especially on Google. Like we're probably spending like 40 grand a day on Google or something like that. It's anywhere between 20 to 40 grand a day, and then it's close to like 10 grand a day on like Facebook and whatnot. But anyway, so like yeah, we're running a lot of creatives
It's
and
a
a lot
ton
of
of
ads.
YouTube for Google. Like, are you doing
Oh yeah,
like
100,
what's the kind of split of traffic for Google, like
Oh,
GDN versus?
I'm not. I could probably get you those numbers, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't run those. I have written some ads, and some of my winning ads are there, so I write a lot of that stuff. I work heavily on the webinar every single day, and that's the thing, right? So like most people, they have webinar shelf life value. This webinar's been running for a long fucking time. So I came in, and I think in the publishing space, as we know, the twins, publishing.com were the biggest, right? I think these guys might have been the second or the third, or whatever. I'm not sure, but I came in and I looked at their current webinar and I was like, what the fuck? Like literally, like what the, like I was surprised they were making money, which they were. So okay, like more power to them. And then even like again, my foot in the doors, I audit everything. So it's like I go audit their current funnels and like, okay, how can I make them new money, right? So and then I literally created an hour-long Loom video on like, hey, here's, and by the way, this is without pay. Most people are like, oh, if client doesn't pay me, shut the fuck up. Like no, like you, what? Here's like, and just to go on a small side tangent, here's what you do nowadays. Today you have AI. You can go research their funnels. You can look at their ads. Hey, I started your 66 ad credit that you're writing. I know a lot of them have this data. I know you're running this. These are the 8 different problems I found, and I believe you should run these tests. But before I even talk about that, I've already written it. Here you go. You can test them if you ever want to work. We do all these stuff. Here you go. How great of a pitch is that? Whereas, hey, can I run your Facebook? Fucking fuck you. Anyway, so it's like, hey, sorry, my language. I'm sorry.
Bro,
Anyways,
cuss away.
so,
This is not being monetized.
okay. But anyways, going back to the Kindle publishing offer. So yeah, I looked at their webinar and I was like, there's about like 14 things we can fix, and then we just kept chipping away at one. One of the, I'll tell you this, like webinar, as I know it, like I worked on a lot of Russell's and his stuff and viewed a lot of those things. So it's like, okay, like for this funnel, they had a 4-step process. All I did was I eliminated one process. So I made it a 3-step process. So I just combined 2 processes. So I rewrote a lot of the stuff, right? It had a 583% increase in terms of sales. In fucking insane. Just like
Just
that.
from a mechanism change.
Yeah.
Like a 3 steps to like desired outcome.
Yeah. So it's like it's like it's simple stuff, right? But like people won't do it. They won't fucking do it. They're lazy. Like it's just like I like at the end of the day, like if I watch something, I'll know what I need to change and I know what I need to test, and then I'll just go to fucking war. And then like it's like I may have 3 fucking failures, but I'll get that one winner and they'll help me beat you, whatever, right? So it's like a lot of that, and then we've been managing all their emails and whatnot. So like that's been like the upsell or whatever, right? So it's like, yeah, but I don't want to manage their ads. They're way too big for me to look at that, because I want to like specialize in like what like we really focus on and like what we really can impact the most to the business. So I will say last year we did $13 million in profit, which was not bad. So that is the only number I will disclose and nothing else. Because here's the thing: a lot of these high ticket businesses, they're like, "Oh, I did this much in fucking revenue." Like they're like, "What's the profit? Tell me." Right? Like they don't know. They have the expenses of employees and staff and consultants and course and masterminds and ad spend and all this bullshit. Like, no, tell me the profit. What's the profit? Right? Like at the end of the day, I want my clients to make money that goes that they get to keep, right? It's one thing to make money, it's another thing to keep it, and it's another thing to multiply it. I want my clients to keep it, and they can work on multiplying it however they want. So, but it's my job to help them make it and keep it as much as possible. So,
what's your pricing model for your clients? Is it a fixed retainer with like percentages? Is it percentage based?
Yeah, I'll tell you this. So we never come in as a percentage. So for example, like typically we come in, we're like, here's the retainer, and we'll do it for 3 months. If you like working with us and you feel like we can get blah blah blah, so we come in for 3 months and then we do it 12 months, right? And that's typically with a percentage based, right? Because now you've like went through the honeymoon phase and you're like, okay, I like working with this guy, like he can actually perform for us and whatnot. And within that time, I've already increased their business by 100%, 200, whatever else. So I don't know what the fuck they're running, but whatever they are, like, okay, like for example, for this client, I would have already made those webinar changes. We tested it. Okay, cool. It generated a 500% increase. Amazing. Right. Now they're like, oh, dude, let's work together. Right. So like if they sign a yearly contract, I give them 2 months off, whatever, like they get to save some money. From us, but I want a percentage. I want like 3%, 5%, depending on who they are, where they're at in their business. It always changes and it's very custom. And I love having a long-term relationship with those clients, right? So it's like, and then we communicate every day and we constantly test and we go to war for these clients. So, yeah, that's the structure. There's nothing complex about it. I like to be very simple. And by the way, I have 0 contracts outside of like, hey, and they can cancel any fucking time. Because here's the thing. Most agencies lock people in these contracts and with like, I'm not that guy. If I'm not making you money, you should fire me. So
Same. I couldn't sleep at night.
Yeah, exactly.
Like results are fucking everything.
100%.
So unpacking the tactics of the auto webinar. An auto webinar, for anyone who doesn't know, it's automated, so it's not live. When someone actually opts in and registers for the webinar, are you doing a just in time, like starts as soon as they opt in? Are you doing a top of the hour, 15-minute delay, 3 hours from now? Like what's it look like?
Nope. Both versions work, and I've seen both versions work. We just happen to do just in time, right? So you opt in, you go to a waiting room, there's a video to watch, and then you click a button and you join literally an automated webinar. It's that simple. And then we have 2 email sequences. We have a miss sequence. So if you did not attend up till 45, I believe, minutes, it's 45 or 50, one of them, because I know the pitch is at 55 minutes. But if you did not stay till that long, they go into the miss sequence. If you stayed past 55, they go into the close sequence. It is that simple. And then there's roughly 13 to 15 emails in each sequence, basically. So if you missed it, obviously we want to get you back in the webinar. For the close sequence, we pitch on as much as we can in different ways, and we use a lot of like the close sequence, like the two choices, like every single, like, I don't know, like if you opt in, you can just go look at the emails. It's not that hard to like figure out, right? Like you can, so yeah, it's like,
Don't
it's
worry,
like,
I've funnel hacked you. I'm actually on your email list.
they probably are to get our emails and whatnot. So there's that. And then, but what most people don't realize is, so that's just not the only play. We also have a downsell that happens 3 days after. We also have an upsell that happens 3 days after. So we call it R7. So it's pretty much, if you have not bought, we go to downsell, which is another webinar. It's a lot shorter, but it's very heavily testimonial based. We describe it as a brand new training, because with the current webinar, we say, hey, it's a training that's going to expire within 3 days, and it's true, it does expire in 3 days, and there are UTMs tagged, and then they will not be able to access that webinar ever again. So what we do have available for them is the R7. So it's a so it's a shorter webinar, and I will say on the main webinar the price point is $19.97 to $2,000. On the downsell is $997. But they can also get the main program for like 3 payments or whatever. So it's like $3,000, $997 times 3 or whatever. Or they can just join for $997 and then they don't get the coaching. So there's that. Then 3 days after, and literally it's between a 3 and a 7 day window where we get to upsell people, right? Where it's to bootcamp, it's I believe $7,000 or $8,000 high ticket offer on the back end. So like you just want to look at, if you ever looked at an SLO model, think of the webinar as our SLO. So it is for us to get clients so we can close more people on bootcamp, and that's where the real money makes. We don't care if we break even on the main webinar.
Right. Oh man, I'd love to ask like what your upsell take rate is and like your percentages, but that might be giving away too much. So
It is giving away too much.
Fair enough. And enough that you are very, very profitable. At 13.5 for the year, that's very good. That's awesome. So for the waiting room, do you have like, is there a drop off point there? So like on webinars that I worked on
I'll give you the exact.
no-show.
I'll give you the exact set. But we have a webinar join rate between 66 and 72%. It's very high.
Yeah, that's very good. Because like the sort of like gold standard KPI is like a 50% show rate, and so like you're getting a very good watch rate. And so like
by the way, we CRO a lot, so it's like just know this, right? So like people look at this and it's high, like yeah, because we fucking tested it so many fucking times, right? And we track it every single day. We have a meeting every morning about it. So like it's because of that, not because we're some geniuses.
Yeah, dude, I've seen your reg page. It might have changed recently.
Oh, it changes. I changed today actually. There's actually 3 variations that are running on convert. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd expect that to be getting, I mean, like depends like what scale, but like, 25 to 35, maybe more sort of like opt-in rate on that. And it's so funny how simple.
It's actually a lot lower. It's very low.
Okay.
It's like 13. Well, I say that because we track new lead opt-in and not just opt-in. So we don't just track, because here's the thing, a lot of people opt in over and over again, and this business has been around for a fucking while. Yeah. So we track a lot, like a lot of people will track, like if we just track normal opt-in, it's like 22 to 26% roughly between there, right? But new lead opt-in, meaning they're brand new, they're never like, and we try to get as much, because here's the thing, like when it comes to ads and everything else, it's like, who is your TAM, right? A lot of people talk about TAM. So we need to constantly expand. So it's like, I think we're currently operating at 44% new lead opt-in rate, I think, ish, which is not bad, but it's like, yeah, it's a number we track internally.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. Do you like, so there's like a lot of issues with FTC compliance on auto webinars because typically live webinars sell better. So what some of the shadier folks in the space do is they make it feel like it's live when it's actually automated. And yeah, like a lot of sort of big info guys have been taken down for things of that kind of like nature. How do you kind of get around like the compliance elements, and how do you deal with that? Like, is this
Oh,
live
so
question?
last year, I say the last year, we're already in 2026, whatever. But like, I think we hired a lawyer, paying him 800 fucking bucks an hour, dude. Like, it's like
I know.
fucking
I probably
crazy.
bet I know who it is. Is the guy he wrote the book with Arnick on it?
I'm not sure. I don't think that's
Uh,
the guy, but it's
okay,
some. But anyways, I have gone through the Onyx program because Russell bought it for us when it first came. Anyways, so we're super like very heavily studied on compliance.
dude, you should read Don't Say That by Arnick. It's
Yeah,
like him talking about his
yeah,
compliance nightmare, and you
yeah,
realize like, holy shit,
yep.
like results based selling is difficult.
100%. So no, we'd have to change the webinar many times to be compliant, and in some cases it worked better because we were just super upfront about it, and that's what I've noticed. So if you look at the Kindle publishing, it's a women-facing one, and when there's a level of trust, and I think like we changed the language, and I think I wrote it whereas it was very trustworthy from, and I like if I talk, you can tell like, hey, like he knows like how to write in a trusty way, and I think that's where the market is. Can I trust this person? Can I actually believe this person? So it's like I believe in the webinar I wrote it something along the lines of like, hey, like this can make money. However, it takes a lot of work. And as we know, like, like if you don't do things, it just won't work. It's just simple math. It's logical. It makes sense, right? Like this is not for people who just click buttons and feel like they can make money, right? On average, our clients make this much. People who've done well, here's their exact numbers. And we also know that people who've joined our program, they just don't, some just don't even finish, right? We know that. And here's our stats for that. We're super upfront about it, super upfront. And they like that because they're like, oh, I can actually trust this person. When you talk about this program, like, hey, on average, person earns about an extra, I don't even know what the number was, like 4,000, 3,000. It might have been 800 for all I know. But extra dollars a month, every month by doing Kindle, like it only works if you work. But it's like there's a way of like, and you can go watch the webinar, see how we utilize it. But yeah, no, I think compliant. I wouldn't say we're 100% compliant. I would say we're like 90-ish% there. We operate a lot in the gray area, I will say. Like I don't know, there's things that we tested where we wanted to be 100% compliant, and it was like, that just shot the business down. I'm like, well, I don't know, but we do it out of a level of trust, and I will say people love it. People love the webinar, and the people who join it love the program. So we did a
That's what
survey.
matters.
Oh yeah. So like we did a survey for all the buyers, and we're like, hey, did you know you got these things? And they're like, yeah, we love it. And did you know like what can we improve? Because half the time, like you want to ask your buyers, and we have like I think over like 17,000 purchases or something. It's insane.
Mm.
So it's like, yeah, mid tickets, like it's insane data, right? So it's like you can ask them a lot of questions, and we run a lot of surveys on the back end, right? Like who else is doing it, right? So it's like who else is there interviewing their clients and customers and even their mid-ticket buyers? Like it's like most people just see them as numbers, but I'm like, no, I just need more data. And then we take that data, put it back into the webinar and whatnot, and that's how we've constantly made it better, right? And even more compliant more than anything else, so we can have that level of trust. So um
Yeah, dude, I forget who says this, but like a lot of the people who get taken down by the FTC, it's they get customers to make sales. They just see them as like a dollar value. Whereas like the people who do it right, which sounds like, you and your client are, it's like they make sales to get customers. It's like the customer is what you want. And then that also helps with upsells and ascensions and retention, which is, and the back end, which is where the real money is.
yep,
Because I mean, you can only
100%.
bring your CAC down so much, but LTV is infinite.
100%.
Nice. Dude, just a couple final sort of quick fire questions on
No,
the
you're good.
webinar. How long is it?
It's I think an hour and 40-ish.
Nice. Do you have a Q&A section like
Yes.
that, and like that's pre-recorded? So
Everything's
is that,
pre-recorded. So
yeah, but is that like difficult to like
no,
navigate?
no.
Okay.
I mean, you could just watch the webinar, but I think every pitch should have a Q&A section after the stack, right? So like if you go through the stack, cool, amazing. Now, hey guys, here's typically the questions we get asked, right? We don't say, oh, here's questions you guys are asking, right? Like, fuck
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
Seth, like, no, like,
That's more what I wanted to uncover.
so it's like, no, like we don't say that, okay? So like that would be uncompliant. So no, I'm like, hey, here's the typical questions we get asked, and we just want to answer those. So question number 1 is this, and then we just go answer. Question number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and then we go through the stack again, right? So it's the Jordan Belfort looping strategy, right? So it's like
Nice.
we just come back, loop back to the offer. So here's everything you were gonna get when you take action today. I don't think that's what we say, exactly what we say, but it's like, and by the way, we tested a lot. We tested the pitch. Like we still constantly test certain parts of the webinar. We track every 5 minutes of the webinar based on like if people stay, how long people stay. Obviously, the biggest drop off is like within the first 5 to 10 minutes, and we've actually tested that a bunch. Like typically, it's the opening, the transition, the pitch, and then obviously the stack and close and all that stuff. So we test a lot of those things. Teaching remains the same, so it is what it is.
Do you have a sales team scooping up some of the leads in the list who
Of
don't
course.
convert? Yeah.
Of
So
course.
what is
Of
like
course.
what's that process look like, and who's on the team?
So it's if they're on a miss sequence, so we do it a few ways, right? So like if they watch the close, so like sales people only will go after people who've seen the close. And so like they get tagged as like, okay, like seen close, and then salespeople are like just are now headhunting, like, hey, did you get a time to watch the train? Like, hey, like, and then really like they're just coming from a good standpoint of, and I had to like yell at the sales team at times because they even called me because I secret chopped them, right? So it's like you
Right.
just have to do stuff. Like, no, it's like part of my CRO process. I'm like, how is the sales team operating, right? So it's like, and then I have to go tell the sales team to like, hey, like you guys are doing this wrong, right? So it's like, and I did that, and like I hope they fixed it. Like, no, they've been doing well. Um, so yeah, no, a lot of sales come from the sales team. I don't know how many people there are. Definitely 4 or 5, but if not more. I think we also hired some outside help. Dean Kazora's team, whatever his team name is, I forget. But
I'm not familiar.
no, but he used to also work with traffic and funnels back in the day. I think he used to be like one of the coaches or whatever, or I don't know, but
Dude, so
yeah.
what's the tech stack to make this all happen? Is this ClickFunnels webinar jam? No, isn't
No,
just the
no.
sort of key
It is
pieces.
webinar. So it is Webinar Jam. So we
Yeah.
utilize Webinar Jam. We use GHL for a lot of stuff. We use HubSpot for emails. We use Convert for um a lot of the split tests and whatnot. So obviously, we use Hyros for a lot of the tracking side of things. Experience 5 for the back end course programs and stuff. Yeah, just the basic stuff. Google Ads, Facebook Ads, lots of UTMs, lots of different tracking stuff. There's that.
Nice. Okay. All right. Sweet. So thanks for giving us some insight into that webinar. Something that like feedback that I get usually it's actually from software clients, but I definitely see it as a bit of a question from clients, which is long copy versus short copy. So there's kind of like 2 schools of thought I see here, which is like short copy is better because nowadays attention span is so short. But then like long copy is typically required for buyers because why is someone going to spend money with you if they won't spend time with you? And it's just like treating it like a salesperson, which is like you wouldn't have your salesperson stop talking. So I'm keen to get your thoughts on like sales pages, even email copy, on what you're seeing work better, or maybe it's just a case of like, bro, just test it because it just depends.
No, it's I think people confuse this a lot, but you have to know where the level of awareness is of your market. So if they're unaware, obviously you have to teach them stuff, right? If they're aware, the 9-word email works. Does it not? Right? So, right? So like it's you have to know the level. Like I think anybody you needs to go read Eugene Schwartz, and I think he's a brilliant marketer and he's a better advertiser, and I think he really knew psychology really well. So it's like it depends, right? So it's like it's not about short form, long form. It's like it depends where your market is at. If they're unaware, they don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you. Like right now, it's all about reach and reputation, right? Do they know who you are and do they even like you, right? Like for me, right? For like at least like that's like the first step. Then you just have to build lots of value. And like I don't know, back in the day, you needed like 7 touch points or whatever. I think now it's like 15 or 20 or whatever else, right? So it's like you need more than that, right? Or like more than that, as many as you can get. And you want to be able to do it to, because like it's, by the way, and then this is a very weird question because like as we know is if we look at the buyer psychology, like, or whatever else, like only 3% of the people are going to buy right now. 17% of them are in the information gathering zone, and like 50+% of them are in the unaware zone or whatever. So you have to write copy based on where the level of awareness is in the market, right? So, and then like we do, so like that's how we utilize this, right? So it's like we can write short form, but that would mean that they would have to be aware of the problem and aware of the solution and aware of all this stuff. Whereas if they're unaware, we'd either have to create a video, a long form letter, and realistically, you're doing all of it, right? So it's like, so it's not just about testing. Like, sure, test it. Like, it's a good idea, and I think that's a very surface level thinking. But I think like you need to go deeper into the level of awareness of where the audience is at, or where that person is at. So like, I think like retargeting would be shorter copy, whereas like cold ads would be a bit longer. And honestly, yeah, test it. We'll see. But like, I think longer copy works better. I think longer videos work better. For me, but at the end of the day, short also works, but they just need to be aware of the things, because like if you're gonna write like fucking 5 lines, it better be good, and they must know the product, must know the offer, must know a lot of stuff if you want to fit it in 5 lines. So that's how I think of it, more as rather than like short form, long form. Don't give a shit. It's what's required to get them to buy. And
100%. Yeah, it comes down to like price point as well, because often it's like the
yeah,
level
true.
of education required is dictated often by like the price. Because if you ask them to spend more money, then you really need to educate them on the
Yes, but
problem.
also like it's like if they've seen your content, then like they're super bought in as well, right? So like where are they coming from, right? So it's like, and you should track that. Like I think like most people, like if you're doing 1 million plus, you should probably be utilizing HubSpot, and you should probably have a 90-day cycle from click to close on where people are coming from, right? Like not just from like last click, but first click and everything else. Like if you don't have that set up, you should, or get a tech guy to set it up. Right. So it's like you should know, and then like you should track it, and then just look at like your history and how things are done, and then focus more on like, because the data is not going to lie to you, right? Assuming it's set up right. So
Yeah, true. If it's set up wrong, it can completely fuck you if it
yeah,
misleads you.
yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, but no, it's just that I just look at it from that lens rather than like fucking debating people on long form, short form. Like I don't care. Like whatever's required to like get the sale. Like I don't know. It's more simple
Well
for me.
said. Yeah, well said. Well said. Yeah, I often like to look at like time on page as well to like get a bit
Yeah,
of a
100%.
kind of like some directional data too.
Well, if you
Cool.
look at our opt-in pages, they're very short. Our waiting room is fairly long, and then our webinar is the longest.
Yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense?
And you're also an email list master. Like before we started recording this, you were telling me that you manage an email list of 12 million, and that's a
Yeah.
big part of actually like being profitable from your webinar funnels as well. What are like some sort of like quick tactics, whether it's like sort of segmentation, like deliverability, replies that you're doing now?
I think deliverability is probably the biggest thing. So it's like a nice upside down pyramid. Deliverability being the biggest thing. I think which ESP you're on also matters. Heck, if you're running that big of a list, you need multiple ESPs. There's some ninja stuff that may just be illegal. I'm not sure, but like if they unsubscribe from one ESP, do they get unsubscribed to the? I should not say this, but anyway,
We can cut that part out.
No, but it's no. You could keep it in. It doesn't matter. But it's like no. We just keep
It's
separate.
hypothetical.
Um,
In theory.
no, but like if we're learning like doing like a huge promo, then like there's that. We'd also like have downloaded the list on our desktop, and it's in our retargeting audience when it comes to relaunching new stuff. So it's like, so if anything, we can just run ads to them, right? So,
Nice.
there's those ninja tactics. There's the, I don't know, like if you're starting to become an email guy, keep your subject lines. Like, look at how many letters. I think it's 35, but I'm not 100% sure. Like, if you look at good copywriters, like they keep their subject lines within that parameter so that they can read the entire subject line and get the idea, get better at headlines. Go look at some John Carlton bullets, and then like they're on swipe.co. Go download them.
So
Go
good.
read them. They're so good.
I love John Carlton.
Yeah, and then go look at that stuff, reuse it, throw it into ChatGPT, ask it to write it for you, and then like you started like just learning stuff, right? And then it's always about, can you enter the conversation in people's head when writing stuff? So it's, can they imagine things? Here's the thing, like most people just write copy to write copy. No, no, no. You need to like just, if they can, it's like, for example, a person got out of the bed, walked over, looked at something in the bathroom, looked in their eyes, messed up their hair, checked their abs real quick, walked away. Like you can sort of imagine that in your
Is
own.
this your morning?
No, but like, no, but like most people can imagine that. You want to put imagery in their head, and I think that's one thing people often lack in copy, right? And especially in emails, because like if you can have written word play an image in their head, you fucking win. You're in their head now, right? And I think that's why like some copywriters, or and I think all copywriters should read fiction a lot, because like while books like Eugene Short's and all these copy books are amazing and they teach you a lot, I think fictions is almost even more important. So I'm a huge anime fan. Like even like I told you, like I started my first business as anime, right? So it's like I read a lot of like the mangas and stuff, and I'll finish in a fucking day. But it's like I read on how they write it. I bought Stan, because I went to Dan Kennedy's house. He had a lot of like Stan Lee stuff. So if you look at Stan Lee, you know, he's written all about these superheroes and Spider-Man and all these guys, right? And like how comics are made and what the thought process is. And go read those comments at how Batman was created and how this one character has flaws and all this stuff, and how that storytelling is involved. So like you want to be able to learn stories, and dude, I can just go into this whole world of copy and
Dude,
story. Yeah, but anyways,
dude, like particularly for selling like info and
yeah,
like selling an expert or like consulting and coaching. It's like you are sharing their hero's journey. So you
100%.
get the prospect to buy into that, to see themselves as in the crappy before state of the expert. And then it's like the
Mm.
vehicle is the knowledge that they have learned from getting to the other side of that journey. And so like being an expert on fiction and your interest and love for like the world of comics is exactly that, which is like translates so well and why you're such a
Yep.
master at
Yeah, I
telling that
think
story.
that's what helped me, because I didn't know English, right? So like I learned English through books and cartoons and anime and gaming. I fucking love gaming. Like don't get me wrong, it's like I think now they're more of a distraction than anything, but like dude, like it's what taught me English. It's like I'm reading those dialogues and constantly like I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Right? So like I love going through stories and dialogues, and I still do at times, right? So it's like sometimes if I have free time, like I'll go game and look at dialogue and see how the story is written at times. So it's like, and I like how like the gamification of things. So it's like it's taught me a lot. And like I said, I'm a sponge, and I'll remember that stuff and I'll utilize it, right? So it's like I'm like interesting, right? So it's like
Nice.
I'll use it and copy it, and it's very interesting.
Dude, so a couple sort of quick fire questions on email. How many emails are you sending a day? Like what's frequency look like? And yeah,
For most clients, one a day. For our higher level clients, two a day. But the second one is typically a smaller segment to our people who are most likely to buy, high opening, high click rates people. And then they're shorter emails, but like I said, shorter emails because they're more aware, right? So hence why the awareness level. So for higher clients, a lot more. It depends on what, I guess, retainer they're on and like how much work is involved from us, but yeah, there's that. And
nice.
then like, can the client create long form videos and trainings and things like that, and gifts and lead magnets and whatever else, that so that we can get them to the next level of awareness to eventually close them, right? So we're super like tactical when it comes to email and getting people through, because it's not just fucking sending daily emails, right? So it's like it's very tactical then, rather than just, oh, we need to send emails and get them to watch stuff and take action and click on a page and check out. Like, it's not that easy. So yeah.
For sure. And in a previous interview, you mentioned the idea of a super signature. I'd love
Oh,
to unpack that a bit and get a bit more context on that.
so okay, so I learned this from a guy named Joey Persia. He lives literally like 20 minutes from me, but like he runs the email list for performance golf.
Ah,
So
very
huge
run some
brand.
very good funnels.
Yeah. So okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean,
And
they have an amazing checkout page
yeah.
that I've gotten some really good inspiration from.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So he taught me the idea of super signature, which is basically a level of relationship for people who are in that 3% of buyer mode, or like they just want more information, or they're in the information gathering mode or whatever else. So it depends on the level of awareness, but it's like your super signature is like, hey, here are 3 ways we can help you, whatever your business is, right? So like, here are 3 ways we can help you lose weight. Here's 3 ways we can help you do XYZ thing, right? Number 1 is a free lead magnet, free training, free whatever else, right? Number 2 is, to book a call, right? So like, hey, here's where, like, if you want to talk one-on-one with an advisor on our team, schedule a call here is completely free. Number 3 could be anything else you want. We have a free community, we have a free Discord, we have a free whatever, and that's a super signature. Every email should have that. I mean, not every email. It's up to you. Even if you look at like Russell's emails and old ClickFunnels emails, it has like, here's my books, here's my ClickFunnels, here's my affiliate offers, a lot of that. Most people would ignore it, but there's some people who actually click on it, right? So it's like, yeah, it's a thing. I think most people overlook and most email marketers overlook. But super signature, it's very simple. It's 3 things, 3 ways we can help you achieve XYZ results, right? And it's for people, and I kid you not, we get a lot of clicks, and it lowers unsubs, which is insane because, right? Because it's like you come from a standpoint of helping, right? And if the unsub button is right below it, they're like, oh, whatever, right? Like most people come down to unsub at times. They could do it at the top as well, but when they read that, they're more likely to click. So that than unsub and whatnot. So it's a 2-way arrow in terms of getting less unsubs and more CTRs to our funnels, and eventually on a call and closing people.
Nice. That's awesome. Thank you for unpacking that, dude. So like the sort of like final transition and point I wanted to ask about is like, what's next for you? Because you've got, a great agency, you're working with awesome clients,
Yeah.
getting sick results. Are you thinking about having your own office, or are you just
Yeah.
going to keep doing
So
what you're doing, doubling down?
yeah. So I think it's a long conversation in my head where it's like I make everybody else rich, but not myself in a way. But like, I don't know. It's yeah. So we are like internally. So I'll tell you what we're working on. Um, I'm going so Q1 we're going heavy on a lot of internal offers. And the team knows, like, we are so laser focused on our clients that oftentimes like we sacrifice our own growth for it. And that sucks because I don't know, but like I think like, and I think I've done that for a long time, but now Q1 is all about, hence why like you probably seen my stories waking up at 4 a.m. because I want to spend the first 4 to 6 hours on working on the business, right? So, and then my meeting starts at 10
And
a.m.
getting
I don't,
gym done.
and
For
getting
anyone
gym
that
done.
like doesn't follow Konan,
Yeah.
I can always count at like 5 a.m. his time. There is him in the gym
Yeah.
shot getting it done.
Yeah, 100%. So it's like it's me time, it's working on the business, and it's quiet, right? So it's like it's like, and what I've noticed, especially from me gaming actually, is I perform the best in the morning based on ranked games and whatnot. So I play a lot of League of Legends and whatnot, and anyways, don't I'm trying to play a lot less, um but no, like it just from that level of study, I've seen that I perform the best in the morning. Therefore, the best level of performance goes to working on the business. So Q1s, we're gonna be testing a lot of low ticket book funnels, webinars for ourselves, even lead forms, which will be interesting because I don't think a lot of people have cracked this agency client acquisition process. Not at the level that I think we can get to. So that's gonna be the initial thing, and then like I think like and I don't know, I think I haven't planned the whole year out like most people plan their year out. Like I have a number like we want to get to, but I can only see so far, right? So I can only see 3-4 months ahead on what I can control, and that's what I want to focus on. So even when I was writing the goals and the team was on and everybody else, and I explained to them, guys, like we're just gonna focus on Q1 and we'll take it quarter by quarter, and then we'll review every quarter based on this, and at the end of the day, we review every week, right? So like, how did our week go? What things we got accomplished? And we're working a lot internally. Like, it's like I rarely email my list, right? So it's like I'm like, fuck, I should email my list, right? I
I
should
think I'm
create
on it.
content.
I gotta get on it.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll add you. I'll send me your email. I think I have your email, right? So like, I'll throw you on it. But it's just me, my own lessons and things I want to share with the world. I want to create more content, hence why we're even here. So, um, I feel like I know a bit, maybe a tiny bit, about the business game. So I feel like I could share and maybe help some people. And within that, I think like if we could create our own offer, maybe a coaching something, I'm not sure, but um, yeah, I've never wanted to because I felt like I don't know, like I just wanted to provide the world to people at times, and I feel like a pure disappointment if they don't get results, and especially like when you know stats like Tony Robbins, people who join Tony Robbins program only finish only 4% finish. It's insane, and I don't know, I care a lot about people and I want them to win, and it's I don't know. It's like if I was to ever create it, I want like a really high success rate, and but I can't control people, which is the other hard part, right? So it's like I'm like I just want to yell at them, like, "Are you stupid?" So, like, "Are you slow?" like what is wrong with you? Do you hate money? Like, um, so, um, yeah, I don't know. We'll do something in the info maybe second part of the year, but for now we're just gonna focus on just scaling up the agency for now. I've been hiring a lot more and really training the team a lot more nowadays, so I can be more. I'm mostly out of it. I'm mostly out of in the copy side of things. My guy, I've been training him for like 2.5 years, and he's gotten to a point where he's actually very, very good. He's like 90% there, right? So it's like he's gotten very good and he loves working with us, and I love giving these guys bonuses. And I train my team and I treat my team very well. And they're like, dude, we love working here. Like when your team tells you like, hey, we love working here, like that's when you know you have a great team. Like they go to war for you, dude. Like it's that's where you know, right? So it's like, and you want to have that level of care. Like even this Christmas, we sent them gifts and whatnot, and um that was amazing, and it's how you treat your team at the end of the day because it's the people that grow the business, not yourself. It's very hard to play the game when it's just you. You need the people that can back you and help you level up and can go to war with you, right? So, um, that's my focus for Q1. It's very client acquisition focused, and then it's very team focused because I think if I can just work on their talents and I can work on the business, then we win and we can maintain our client delivery the way it is. It's a big test because I'm sort of stepping away from it, but it's I'll see how it goes. So because at the end of the day, the agency world is fairly simple, right? The more clients you add and the less clients you lose, you win easily, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
it's like a straight upwards line, right? So yeah, like you churn less, you get more clients, easy game, right? So it's that's how the agency world works. But then you reach a certain level of cap when you get to like 8 figures ish. So and then you need to like go at different markets. But anyways, that's probably a conversation for another time. But
Nice.
yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Dude, this has been absolutely awesome. Super, super valuable and so yeah, enjoyable to like hear about your incredible journey and just
Yeah,
congrats on like on all the success. And I think like you've spent a lot of time building the expertise and getting wins, like just getting the proof. And now you
yeah,
can go out and just market it all. And you're just gonna be like, you're gonna get flooded. So definitely gonna be
yeah,
prepared for that. Cool.
yeah.
All right, Conan, where can people find you if they want to connect with you, if they want to work with you? Where's the best place?
It's Konan Shaw on every single platform, or Konan A Shaw because my middle name is A. Yeah, it's not hard to find me. My name is fairly unique. Maybe I need to go Google myself to see who's there in case, but maybe we need to kick their ass as well. But just to like get them out of it. But no, it's just literally my name everywhere. I'm mostly active on Instagram. Don't message me on LinkedIn. I will never see it. Don't call me. Don't text me. Just DM me on Instagram or Facebook and I'll probably see it. So there's that. Yeah,
And
but most active on Instagram.
and people can also go to copyandclients.com as well, and we'll put a
Yeah.
link in the description too.
I appreciate it.
All right, Konain, thank you so much for coming on the channel. It's been an absolute privilege having you.
Dude, no, thank you for your time and having me on. And it's a privilege to share the knowledge with you and the world.
Thank you, mate.